300 million Chinese for the victory of the world revolution. Scholars estimate that 16.5 to 40 million people died during the Great Leap famine, which was mostly caused, see if this sounds familiar, by the implementation of collectivization policies that reduced incentive and output of food. All told, Mao was responsible for well over 70 million deaths in peacetime, more than any other 20th century leader. Do you hear it? That's Mao. You don't read about these people anymore. You don't have your children study these people anymore. Why is that? No. We're only teaching our kids that these guys are cool. Is that because there are very powerful people with agenda that worship these radicals? We gave a number to that phone, to this woman. It put in charge by Barack Obama to be the one to call out Fox News. All week, I have been pointing out the fans of Mao and Che and Castro and of the Marxist. Ask yourself, America, please ask yourself, if I am wrong, how is it possible these people have not called? You'd think being labeled a fan of a guy who killed millions of people would make you pick up the darn phone, don't you think? The videotape I'm about to show you is from way back in May of this year. It was in front of a high school crowd. The woman on the tape is Anita Dunn, the same Anita Dunn whose librarian glasses and gravitas were glowingly profiled in today's Washington Post. The article had everything about Anita. Well, of course not everything, because why would you do everything? Why would you put everything into a story about the woman who is trying to crush freedom of speech? Why would you do that? And why would you put that story in the style section? Why would you do that? Is that because maybe, I don't know, somebody could just call the Washington Post and massage the style section much more than the news section? She's an old pro. She's out in front. Gee, I wonder who made that call. Do you think it would be Rahm Emanuel? No. Could it be Rahm Emanuel? I don't know, Rob. We're going to have to check with more of our sources. Oh, yeah. I'm going to let the video. Remember, this is a puff piece in the style section today of the Washington Post, the same newspaper that used to stand up and look for the truth. Anita Dunn in the style section. You could go with that, or you could go with what I'm about to show you. And you tell me which one is true. It's a video that just might explain why that phone hasn't rung all this week when I said, look at these people. Again, this is Anita Dunn, June, or is it May or June? June of this year. Here it is.
A lot of you have a great deal of ability. A lot of you work hard, put them together, and that answers the why not question. There's usually not a good reason. And then the third lesson and tip actually come from two of my favorite political philosophers, Mao Tse Tung and Mother Teresa, not often coupled with each other. But the two people that I turn to most to basically deliver a simple point, which is you're going to make choices. You're going to challenge. You're going to say, why not? You're going to figure out how to do things that have never been done before. But here's the deal. These are your choices. They are no one else's. In 1947, when Mao Tse Tung was being challenged within his own party on his plan to basically take China over, Chiang Kai-shek and the nationalist Chinese held the cities. They had the army, they had the Air Force, they had everything on their side. And people said, how can you win? How can you do this? How can you do this? Against all of the odds against you. And Mao Tse Tung said, you fight your war and I'll fight mine. And think about that for a second. You don't have to accept the definition of how to do things, and you don't have to follow other people's choices and paths. Okay? It is about your choices and your paths. You fight your own war. You lay out your own path. You figure out what's right for you. You don't let external definition define how good you are internally. You fight your war, you let them fight theirs. Everybody has their own path. And then Mother Teresa, who, upon receiving a letter from a fairly affluent young person who asked her whether she could come over and help with that orphanage in Calcutta, responded very simply, go find your own Calcutta. Okay? Go find your own Calcutta. Fight your own path. Go find the thing that is unique to you, the challenge that is actually yours, not somebody else's challenge. One of the things that we see, the Obamas, both of them, Michelle and Barack, came out of backgrounds as community organizers.
Stop.
Working.
I wanted to make sure that we at least played there's more, but I wanted to make sure that we didn't take it out of context. We showed you the nice things she said about Mother Teresa. Okay, so the reason why this phone hasn't rung all week is because the most important political philosopher for her is Mao Tse Tung. Oh, and Mother Teresa. The guy responds.